Hey guys, it's Aoife for Top 5 Wednesday. So today's Top 5 Wednesday topics are books I won't read ever. So I didn't have to think too hard about this one, because there's a few books I know I'll never read, or I've started the series and I know I'll never read the rest of the series. So my two major ones, or this I'll count as one because it's in one series, is the second two of the 50 Shades of Grey. So it's 50 Shades Darker and 50 Shades Freed. Now, I did read the first one a good few years ago before the whole movie hype came out, and it was my boyfriend at the time, his mom was actually reading it and she really liked it, so she gave it to me, which is kind of weird when you think about it, but at the time it was fine. And then I finished it and I just couldn't wrap my head around why this book was so raved about, because it was just such bad writing. Like, I felt like I was physically in pain when I was reading it, because like there was no character development. The characters were just so shallow. They weren't really well thought out. Like Christian Grey was just like, he was Edward Cullen like all over again, which everyone knows that's what he was based on. That's who he was in the first place before it became like 50 Shades. It was an Edward Cullen fanfiction, and it was so obvious. Like, I don't understand why Stephanie Meyer wouldn't go and freaking sue her, because like it's just one of those books that you just can't get your head around. It's just so bad, so bad. But there's actually a funny story behind why I have these, and I have actually 50 Shades of Grey back there. These are actually, they have a bit of layer of dust on them because they've been on my bookshelf for so long and haven't even been moved. My dad is into reading, and he always likes to kind of read the new up and coming novels. Like, he was really into Harry Potter. He really loved the Hunger Games. He like went through the Hunger Games in like 2 days when I gave it to him, when I told him that he should read them, that they were really good, and he got completely obsessed with them. So then he heard about 50 Shades of Grey, and he presumed 50 Shades of Grey was another Hunger Games. So he went and bought them. And then he actually, I think he must have opened up one of the books and read a passage, and he realised what it was about, and he didn't want to read it anymore. So he just gave them to me, and they've been sitting on my bookshelf for the past 3.5 years now, just gathering dust. And I know I'll never read them. So yeah, I should really give them to a charity shop or something, but all the charity shops that I can see have about five different copies of it all the time. So yeah. And then I think the next book that I won't read ever, I know I'll never read it, and I think it's because I had such a bad experience with 50 Shades of Grey, which started out as a fan fiction, is After by Anna Todd. And everyone knows that After is based on Harry Styles from One Direction. That's what it started off as. And I just have no interest in reading it. There's nothing in me that's calling me out to read it. I just don't want to. I think it's mainly because 50 Shades of Grey was so bad that I don't want to have to read another one from that. I did write fan fiction when I was younger. I did enjoy it. But if I was to have anything published that I've written online, I'd want it to be one of my original stories. I don't think I'd want one of my fan fiction. I think I'd actually kind of be embarrassed if one of my fan fictions were discovered. Like, they're for secret. They're for, under a pseudonym, under a username on one of those websites. I wouldn't want them to be published at all. The next one, I don't really know why I don't want to read it. I'm just not enthused about it at all, and I've heard a good bit about it, but I think some of the reviews I've read, it says that it kind of goes all over the place, or there's like too many characters or something like that, and it's Beautiful Disasters by Jamie McGuire. I just don't know why. I just don't want to read it, and I don't think I'll ever read it. Yeah. And then the fourth one is the House of Night series by PC and Kristin Cast. Now, I started reading House of Night when I was I think I must have only been about 15. I was pretty young. I'm 23 now, so I think I was pretty young. And it was actually one of those books that when I had a little bit of money, I'd go and buy. And I actually really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the first 3, I think. And then they just started getting stupid. And it was like, as soon as you thought that it was going to like finish up, it didn't. And there was another one. And you're like, okay, I have to go out and get another one. And then it just continued like this over and over again. And then the main character, Zoe, had love interest after love interest and love triangle after love triangle. And it just got so annoying. And then the writing just seemed to take a complete, I just couldn't do it. And there's the last two books, which is I have here, Revealed and Redeemed. They're the two that I haven't read, and I'll never read them. The only reason I kind of read the rest that I have read was because I was like, I started it and I might as well finish it. But then there was just too many, and I was like, no, I don't want to waste my time reading like a pile of garbage, basically. I don't want to. And if you haven't read House of Night, don't read it. I'm telling you. Don't read it unless like you literally want to stick a fork in your eyeball. Don't read it. And the thing is, I've actually read some of PC Cast's other works. She had a great one. She's a few goddess ones where like a girl in the modern world, she kind of gets transported into another kind of magical land and she turns into a goddess there. Who's kind of like almost like a doppelganger of her. Those ones are really good. And then she has another one where a girl gets transported. She kind of gets a body switch with this other girl who is kind of like the daughter of the goddess, or she speaks for the goddess in this land, and she has an arranged marriage with a centaur. And that one is actually really, really good. I really loved that one. And so I don't know what happened between her standard of writing between those books and House of Night, because it's just so different. The only thing I can do is blame her daughter, because she wrote those ones with her daughter, so that's the only difference. And I feel really bad for saying that, but maybe she should just keep writing on her own, because her own writing is way better. So yeah. And then my fifth one isn't actually a series, it's just a general kind of theme in some books, which is incest. And I don't want to read about incest because it's just gross. And I know some people are into it and some people are into like, when it comes to fan fictions, and they like those twincest and all those kind of stuff, and I'm just so not into it. It's just so disgusting. And it might be because I have a brother and like it just no, stop, it's wrong, stop, no. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. Those are my 5 books that I don't want to read. So let me know what your ones are, because I want to know. And if you have any suggestions to me of books to never read, to not waste my time on, let me know that as well, because I want to know. Okay, I'll see you.